Louisville, Kentucky. With Sticker granddaughter here. Sticker teenager might make appearance here in a little bit. How's it going out there? Did you watch the Saturday Night Live homecoming concert last night? I watched it again today from Radio City of Music Hall. It's pretty good. They're on Peacock. Jimmy Fallon was the host. We got a little bit of thunder going on out there. I hope we don't lose Wi-Fi here. Some parts of Louisville already lost some power. So Jimmy Fallon was the host. He came out with did a Blues Brothers skit. Was pretty good. Miley Cyrus was next and did a little bit of Queen and her song Flowers, and she shouted out to Paul Rudd and who's the guy that did the golf movie? Adam
Sandler.
And Adam Sandler. Shouted out to him in the audience mid-song. That was pretty cool. Bad Bunny, I'm trying to get used to him. He was on there. Bill Murray did the old skit with Paul Schaefer. Eddie Vedder was really good, did a Tom Petty song. Somebody else did a Tom Petty song that seemed to be the theme. Kind of the underground theme last night was Tom Petty tribute. And then Eddie Vedder did a Pearl Jam song, and that guitarist on Roots is really good, really good. Played that double neck guitar, kind of like Jimmy Page. B-52s were looking pretty old, but they came out and did Love Shack, pretty interesting. And the Backstreet Boys did their big song. Devo looked a little old, but they did the Uncontrollable Urge. Adam Sandberg and Lady Gaga did a comedy sketch there at first. It was pretty funny. I can't say what the name of the song was. Lauryn Hill, Will Ferrell, and Anna did their Saturday Night Live skit. And at the end, they did Not Like Us from Kendrick Lamar and Good Luck Babe from Chappell. Jelly Roll did Walk the Line from... not coming up. Walk the Line. Who's it? Johnny Cash. Belinda Carlisle. I don't know how to say her name, but she was pretty good. Mumford and Sons, I didn't know much about, but they were really good. They did a Simon and Garfunkel song. Snoop Dogg did his famous Gin and Juice, and I think Jelly Roll helped him out. And they also did Mary Jane, Tom Petty song. That was the other one. Arcade Fire, I didn't know much about, but David Byrne was looking a little old, but he came out there and he can still do it. They were singing Heroes from David Bowie, but notice that nobody can ever do Heroes as good as David Bowie could do it. Bonnie Raitt was good. Post Nirvana, what do you think of them doing Smells Like Teen Spirit? I liked it with Post Malone. Some critics didn't like it, but I thought it was really good. Cher, I don't know if she's 75, 77 years old, but she came out in that see-through outfit and did If I Could Turn Back Time, and I was pretty amazed at how good she was. I didn't think she could do it anymore. Lady Gaga, she's been at every music show there's been in the last 3 weeks. The Grammys, the Fire Aid, the Saturday Night Live. Lady Gaga, she's a trooper. And Jack White finished it up with Rockin' in the Free World and 7th Army Nation from the White Stripes. They say Jack White's one of the best live acts to see currently. He's going to be here at the Bourbon in September here in Louisville. What's it called? Something in Bourbon concert. What did you guys think of the Saturday Night Live homecoming special?
Gordon Tweet said, "Welcome family, Jesus love to all your family." Danny Goldstein said, "Hi folks."
How you doing, Danny Goldstein? Did you get your package yet?
Nicole said, "Hello Frank and Sticker Kin."
How you doing, Nicole?
Thomas Crook said, "Hello everyone."
Thomas Crook.
Johnny Ramone said, "Howdy."
How you doing, Johnny Ramone? How's Gregory Theo doing? So they came out with there was a little tidbit I found out about that Gibson manufactured a special guitar for Andrea of Chappell Roan's band. She's 24, that guitarist. But they made a special mirror ball Gibson Les Paul guitar that she played in the Pink Pony Club performance on the Grammys. So she just got that guitar a couple days before the performance. But that now when I looked at the, finally they got it up on YouTube now, the professional filmed TV clip of Pink Pony Club, and it already has 300 views in less than 12 hours, so it's going quick. Pink Pony Club is going up the charts. It was at 13 on the Billboard's charts last week. A 6-year-old song could go all the way to #1. That would be amazing. Show me that Chappell Roan sign thing I got down there on the ground. I got one thing to sign. I had it right there in a big plastic bag.
She's dropped it right here under you.
Got one more Chappell Roan signed item with the COA. They're in their pink outfit and signed Chappell Roan with the COA. I sold all the rest of my Chappell Roan items, but this is $150 if somebody's interested. It's really hard to find her complete signature on anything anymore.
So they just did a flash flood warning for Louisville.
Flash flood warning. We had
Rapid.
some heavy rain about an hour ago.
So like 4:30 in the morning it says.
One other note on my Chappell Roan moment, she's #6 on the UK charts and the album charts, and she's #6 in the US charts. So she's going up quick. The Grammy performance helped her out. We're gonna do a little trivia question in a little bit. We're gonna give away one of these 1964 Beatles little tumbler. It has it's original. It's got the square handle on it, and we'll get a bundle package. You get both of them in this 1966 hang tag for a Beatles shirt. I got 3 trivia questions concerning Paul's performance at the, what's the name of the Bowery Ballroom in New York City. All right, we're done with the Saturday Night Live thing. We got the trivia questions. I talked about Weekend is #1 on the album charts. I didn't know much about Weekend, but after seeing him on the Grammys, I can see why he's so popular. Rachel's Ghost Patreon channel, I subscribed to it the other day, $5 a month. If you guys got a chance, you want to see Rachel's Ghost, you have to be on her Patreon. Join at $5 a month, and she is going to be on 3 times a week. I tried to get on there the other day and send some, be in the chat, but you got to, it's different than YouTube. I got to figure it out. I'm old, I don't know all the tricks on that. They were trying to teach me, I didn't figure it out yet. But she's going to be on tomorrow morning for an international show. So good luck to Rachel from Rachel's Ghost. She helped me out a lot. Leonardo DiCaprio, he spent $52,000 and he owns a pair of John Lennon's original glasses. I looked that up the other day. And on eBay, a sealed Magical Mystery Tour USA stereo pressing from 1967 sold for almost $4,000 the other day. I was kind of shocked at that. I want to show some things here. I got all these songbooks and sheet music that I put out there. You saw on my short. This is the first songbook released in America on February 1964 called The Beatles Book. Then we got a 1964 early UK sheet music for Can't Buy Me Love. We got a 1965 early, I think it's February 1965, Beatles 65. This is the songbook for the whole album. This is really nice, excellent condition. No writing inside. We got some other 1964 Beatles books. Notice one of them's flat color, one of them's glossy. But one of them's got a date of February 64 and the other one's got a February 65. How you tell when these were pressed? When these were printed, there's a little date there, 265 on the back corner. And this one's got a 264.
Danny Goldstein said, nice final photo shoot poster behind you.
Which one, Led Zeppelin?
Right, Led Zeppelin, the one on the other side, the old one.
Oh, the old one? Yeah, that's a 1969 record store poster for 8-track and 4-track tapes and cassettes. That's when they had 4-track tapes. I've had some before, and that's when cassettes were first came out. Led Zeppelin's first album. Finished up these songbooks in 1964, Beatles' Hard Day's Night songbook. Nice, excellent condition. This is pretty cool here. I got 2 different kinds of help. One's the first issue of help for the album. And then this one kind of promoted George Harrison. It said, I Need You, the one by George. So that's pretty cool that they had 2 different ones, one for George. Rubber Soul, the original price tag was $2.27, 1966, January. Got both flip sides of a great 2-sided single, paperback Rider and Rain, sheet music. We got the Revolver, the rare one. It's got the photos before the songbook. So it's got the photo for Ringo and a photo for John, color. And then the back is Paul. And George might be missing from this one. Yeah, there's no George. George is missing from the songbook. Penny Lane, the B-side, Strawberry Fields, the sheet music, Sgt. Pepper, the great album, June 1967, The Summer of Love. This has got a lot of different songs. It came out in 1968, a songbook, everywhere from Revolution to Strawberry Fields, Forever. It's even got Sweet 16. There are 16 different songs in there. This is a rare one with all the White Album tracks from 1969. The new look of the Beatles. John Lennon and his spacey glasses there. Last one, the Let It Be. And then 2 different Hey Judes with 2 different cover shoots for Hey Jude. Somebody corrected me. It was number 1 for 7 weeks in a row. I must have said it was number 1 for 9 weeks in a row.
Daniel Castillo says, strange he bought the glasses. He's pushing 50 and only dates women under 25.
He likes the Beatles though.
Sarah said, hey guys, sticker gal, love your sweet sweatshirt.
Who's the guy that what actor went to Paul McCartney's show the other day? He's a big Beatles freak and has been in all kinds of movies. Let's give a hint. He was in Castaway. Who is it?
Danny Goldstein said, Beatles at John's house.
Do what?
He was talking about probably something on one of that you were showing.
Nicole said, Uncle Paul is missing tonight.
Uncle Paul, a shout out to Uncle Paul. He helped us on the Mikey Arugula show last Wednesday. I hope you guys checked it out. We have like 400 views. Check out. We had Uncle Paul as a special guest. We've only got him like 5 subscribers, but if you get a chance, check out Uncle Paul's Pop Beatle Playhouse and give him a subscription.
Danny said Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, that is the correct answer. Tom Hanks was there with Rita Wilson. He's a big Beatle freak, and he was at the Saturday Night Live homecoming concert last night. And there was a skit where Jimmy Fallon said, there's no awards here tonight, Tom Hanks. And Tom and Rita threatened that they were going to walk out, but I know it was all just kidding. They were kidding around.
Daniel Castillo said Le'Veon's father also married a woman younger than his son.
Who did?
Le'Veon's.
Let me see. Forrest Gump, Uncle Paul would be great. Lebian's father also married one more younger than his son. Who's Lebian?
Lebion.
He
Daniel.
met Lennon.
Oh, Lennon.
Daniel Castillo said, "I knew Uncle
Lennon
Paul."
didn't marry somebody. He's talking about somebody.
Lennon's dad.
Oh, yeah.
Lennon's dad, man.
Freddie Lennon.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Daniel said, "I knew Uncle Paul would be a great guest."
Yep. He did a good job.
Dave Evans said, "Forrest Gump, welcome back, sticker granddaughter."
All right.
I don't know what that means.
Because you weren't in the Wednesday.
Well, she hasn't been in like the last 3 streams.
Yeah.
Showcase a few items. I got some questions. We'll do this trivia question here in a second. So I got this the other day through the internet. I won the auction. This was sealed from 1964 in the original plastic store baggie. And I opened it up to see the pressing on it. So this is a early 1964 pressing of the Beatlemania, which originally came out in November 1963, the first album released in North America with the Beatles. That's the original inner sleeve, and it's got a -4. It's like a early 1964 pressing, -4, -2. But the record is stone mint, and it is. Haven't played it yet to see if it's a loud cut. Stone mint record that's been sealed for 60 years. Beatlemania. It's got the same tracks that Please Please Me has. See if I can get this put away. Can't do everything with the gloves on. There we go. Introducing the Beatles, there was some conflict on that on Rachel's Ghost channel the other day. I'll try to explain that right now. So for all you out there that see introducing the Beatles everywhere, 90% of them are counterfeit. I'm going to show you a counterfeit and I'll show you some original. It's a lesson in introducing the Beatles. So you got 2 Stereophonics albums here. One of them is worth $4,000 and one of them's worth no more than $20. Stereophonic on the top. They look pretty identical. George has a shadow on both of them. But this is the one with the ads on the back. And this is the one that's a counterfeit that's got Love Me Do, P.S. I Love You, and the Taste of Honey doesn't have all the printing on the end there. It's missing printing on the E in honey. This is worth no more than $20. There were millions of these made in the early 70s, supposedly by the mob. And that's what a counterfeit pressing looks like. The Beatles is below the spindle hole. Now I'll show you 2 original records because they seem to be confused on Rachel's Ghost channel how to explain this the other day. So this is original version 2 with all the printing on honey. And it's got Please Please Me and Ask Me Why. If you get a cover that has Please Please Me and Ask Me Why, it is original. And when you look at the record label, it's got to have green in here. If it doesn't have green, it's a counterfeit.
Danny Goldstein said, "How much is that stereo?"
It's sold for $4,000.
And then he said, "How much is that Beatlemania with the Beatles?"
The Beatlemania I would sell for $500. So on this, the original one that I sold for $4,000, this is what the record looks like. You got the green on the label, and you got stereo at the 12 o'clock position, and you got Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You on the tracks. All of them are in true stereo except for Let Me Do and P.S. I Love You.
Daniel Castillo said, why did VJ also use the rainbow like capital?
On the labels, they want to know why. He wants to know why they put the rainbow around it.
I don't know.
He didn't know if you knew or not.
Don't know the answer to that.
You're supposed to know the answer to everything.
No, I don't know that one.
Okay.
So that's my little lesson on introducing the Beatles. Hope that helps you from buying a counterfeit album, because almost everyone on the internet is a counterfeit.
It's like,
There's another item I got in. 1973 Abbey Road, France contract. This is already sold, but it is the best pressing of Abbey Road according to me, my personal opinion. They got the vocals and the mid-range mixed up higher than the UK pressings. It's a different way of listening to Abbey Road. The vocals are just amazing on Because and the medley. It's one of those things you should listen to in your lifetime. Is a 1973 pressing of Abbey Road France contract. That's when Abbey Road was closed for renovations. They thought it had a big comeback when the soundtrack of Star Wars and all the John Williams movies in the late 70s. But in the early 70s, after the Beatles broke up, Abbey Road was in trouble. And then they closed it for renovations to try to remodel it and get it going again. And they were successful. But in 73, they sent all the master tapes over to France. And they made great pressings in 73 of Beatle albums. My portrait cover that I got from the DJ in retired DJ in the New England area. I sold my other one for $3,700. This one's got some paper loss, but it is original with all the printing on the spine. There couldn't be more than about 1,000 of these were pressed before they pulled them off the market. And this is up on my, show my pink thing, Sticker Mania. Pay attention there. You're doing other things.
no, I'm not.
eBay store, Sticker Mania 2853. Show me the other one, please. Now's the time to be paying attention to what's going on here in life.
Exactly.
I am. I'm looking at the comments.
And this is how you get a hold of me through my YouTube channel, Mr_Stickermania at yahoo.com. So this portrait cover is on my Stickermania 2853 store. I sent out an offer on that at $1,700.
Daniel Castillo said lead Beatles. George said they had a lot of gay fans in Paris.
A lot of what?
Gay fans in Paris.
In Paris.
Oh, Paris, yeah. A week before the Beatles came to America on February 7th, they performed several times in Paris, and most of the audience was boys and men.
Nicole said, how much did that Abbey Road go for?
Abbey Road went for $300.
Dave Evans said, Frank is spot on. The French copy is stunning audio.
All right, Dave Evans agrees with me. You ready to do the trivia questions about the Paul McCartney concert? I guess Sticker Kid might come in here at the last second.
Probably not.
He's probably not even good.
All right, you got to have all your answers in one message to win this contest, to win this original 1964. It's like the tumbler. I sold the tumbler and the cup earlier today for $99, but I got some extra one of the smaller cup.
If they're not all in one, you lose.
And the hang tag.
Huh?
3 questions concerning the Paul McCartney concerts at the Bowery Ballroom on February 11th, February 12th, and February 14th. On the first show, February 11th, what non-Beatles song was performed that wasn't performed the other two nights. Exclusively only on February 11th. It's not a Beatles song. It's a solo Paul McCartney song. Only performed on the 11th, wasn't performed the other two nights. That's the first question. Second question, what Beatles song was only performed on February 12th? There were two Beatles songs that were only performed on February 12th. And then on February 14th, there was an exclusive Beatles song that was only performed the last night on February Valentine. A Beatles song was performed on February 14th. Those are your three questions.
Gotta get them all on the same line.
I'll repeat it one more time. On February 11th, Paul played one song that's not a Beatles song that wasn't performed the other two nights. On February 12th, he did two Beatles songs that were only performed that night, and you just have to get one of them. And on February 14th, the last one night, he played a Beatles song that he didn't play the other two nights.
Check Richard James.
Richard James. No, you have one right.
Oh man, don't even say that. But...
Well, that doesn't give anything away. Anybody else? Johnny Ramone. No. Carry That Weight was performed all three nights. Oh, you got one right there, Johnny Ramone. So the first night, the February 11th, a song that came out the same time as Let It Be was only performed that night. That came out the same week, same couple weeks that Let It Be album came out in 1970.
Look at Daniels.
That's the first one.
Look at Daniels, then Polly.
Daniel. No. Polly. No. We're only getting one right. The one you guys are getting right is I Want to Be Your Man. What Beatles songs were played on February 12th that weren't performed the other two nights? And what solo Beatles song was performed on February 11th, the first night? It's a tough song for him to do. He can't do it every night. All right, let me see. You got any more things?
No, there's nothing.
My buddy's stumping and trying to figure it out right now.
Yeah, I looked it up. It took me a long time of a process of elimination to figure this out. So when Ringo went to Paul's house and he said, you got to delay the McCartney album for a little bit, and then Paul threw him out of his house, that's a hint on the first song.
Check Daniel.
No. You're only getting I Want to Be Your Man right. What song did Paul sing the first night that's too tough for him to sing every night and at the same time as Let It Be came out? What Beatles song? There's two songs he did on the 12th. He didn't do the other two nights. Any other one? We got I Want to Be Your Man. Now I only need two more answers for the February 11th and February 12th. Any other answers?
Do with Richard James.
Richard James. You're getting awful close. You had two of them right. You guys know Maybe I'm Amazed. You're missing the February 12th. All right, I just need one answer now. What Beatles songs did Paul play on February 12th that he didn't play on the other two nights? You get one of these two and you win the contest. You got to have just one answer.
Oh man, you got more than that.
Well, we got to get this over with. What Beatles songs did Paul play on February 12th that he did not play on the 11th and 14th? It's a hint. It's on the Nimbus Supercut. All right, we got an answer. Richard James wins. Getting better.
Yay.
So Maybe I'm Amazed was performed the first night only. And on February 12th, Paul did Getting Better and Can't Buy Me Love. And on the 14th, he did I Want to Be Your Man, the song that they gave away to the Rolling Stones. So Richard James is getting these in the mail. Do we have his address?
We had before. It should be in an email. Even we sent to him a couple of times.
That did take me about 10 or 15 minutes to figure out those questions.
Richard James said, I was at the 12th show.
All right, so he saw the Getting Better and the Can't Buy Me Love. Somebody has a sound recording on YouTube now of the second show, February 12th, where he starts off. It might be February 11th. One of the shows is the complete show is up on YouTube now. The sound, somebody made an audience recording.
Your Japanese friend said, hello, Frankie and granddaughter. The music and miscellaneous goods that the Beatles left behind in this world are truly wonderful. I learned a lot from you, Frank.
All right, thanks. All right, let's show some more things. And then I got a few more notes to talk about. Got one of these in today, a sealed Beatles Past Master from 2012. You might not think that's special, but it's the one that was pressed in Germany. And that's what makes it special. Much better pressing of all these Beatles single tracks on the German pressing rather than the USA pressings. And I think I've shown this several times before, but the Giles Martin helping his dad on the Love, great Love soundtrack. That's not playing anymore in Las Vegas. It finally closed up. Got a Beatles brunch bag. Somebody's interested in this, I would sell it for $600. Excellent condition, 1965, made by Aladdin. But if it doesn't sell at $600, I'll hold on to it until my condition 9 lunchbox and thermos come in next week. And it took me heavy negotiations to get that perfect lunchbox and thermos coming in. And he called me today and says, well, I got a near mint Superman lunchbox and thermos. And I go, well, that's not my focus, Superman. I said, how much do you want for it? He says, I take $6,000 for it. So I guess the Superman lunchbox must be worth more than the Beatles. I didn't think anything was worth more than the Beatles. Abbey Road we showed, Sgt. Pepper. Talked about getting better. Talked about that Sgt. Pepper that I said would sell for around $200. I sold it for $199 today on eBay. It's got a mono on one side and a stereo on the other side from 1982. UK. And I got a Sgt. Pepper 2014 mono that's been opened up, but they say the Mike from the in-groove says this is the best mono pressing ever, unless you got a unplayed 1967 mono pressing, which is impossible now. 2014 mono pressing of Sgt. Pepper pressed in Germany. Beatles White Album. According to Steve Hoffman of Hoffman Forums, this 1978 White Album pressing from the United Kingdom is one of the best pressings there is. I got this from a DJ. He had a whole bunch of promos that he never played, but it sold for $200 today on eBay. So the White Album. And then I got a 68 top loader in excellent condition, number 435579. You know, the almost first 300,000 were all mono copies. Top loader from the top with original black die cut inner sleeves. The poster, the photos, hard, not played very much, excellent condition albums. That's up on my eBay store at $377. Sticker Mania. You want to say that again?
This one?
Yes. Sticker Mania 2853.
Yeah.
Remember, if you want to get a hold of Mikey Arugula, you just got to punch in mikeyarugula@gmail.com and you can get a hold of Mikey Arugula.
We gotta get him a sign too.
Butcher covers, concerts.
Greg Fio said, "Hey Frank."
How you doing, Gregory Field? We'll show these 1964 memorabilia from the Indiana State Fair, and then we'll show some butcher covers.
One question.
Yeah.
Danny Goldstein said, "Frank, do you have an opinion on the audio quality of the early 1980 Japan box set pressings?"
I do not usually do the Japan pressings.
And Thomas Crook said, "Are the top loaders mostly mono?"
The top loaders, the first 300,000 were mono, and then the next 200,000 or so were stereo there in the United Kingdom. So when they they got their first shipments, they only got about 25% of what they ordered, and most of them they got were mono copies. They didn't stereo. It took a while before they got stereos to the store.
Okay. That's
And do you know the one guy that worked for the Beatles? He passed away shortly, Bramwell. He had the 20 or 30 of the very first numbered copies mono, and he was in a taxi, and he was taking them around to promote, to give it to record stores and important people in London. And he saw somebody he knew, and he started talking to the person, and all of a sudden the taxi with the numbered 1 through 30 of, not 1, but probably 10 through 30 of the White Album mono top loader copies, the taxi took off, and Tony Bramwell lost all the early copies that he was supposed to promote with. Can you imagine what, if you had all those numbered copies now, what they'd be worth?
Greg Fio said, "Mono box worth its weight in gold."
Yeah, I have another 2014 mono box I won on eBay yesterday that's in the shipping box. Never been taken out of the shipping box. I'll have it next week. All right, 1964, the Beatles at Indiana State Fair. This is the scrapbook. It's all about the Indiana State Fair. It's got all the articles building up to the concert. And it's got the ad when they added on the second show at the grandstands, and they were selling them at $5 and $3. And they had an armored truck come to, I think it was a Hooks Drugs. And they were selling, they had all these people lined up to buy these tickets for $3 a piece to see the Beatles. And on the second show, the Beatles got more of the gate. So that day, they made over $100,000 in Indianapolis. So these are the front page articles of the Beatles coming to Indianapolis that day. Fans keep vigil on Beatles. They wouldn't let them stay at the Essex Hotel because of all the fuss. So the Speedway Motel took in the middle of the Indianapolis Speedway, took them in. They had police all around to keep the girls away. And in the middle of the night, Ringo wanted the sheriff and the security guards to take him around the Indy. He couldn't go to sleep, and they took him around and around the Indy 500 track. There's a ticket, original ticket stub that was $5. It was $5. That means you were under the grandstand to be protected from the weather. And the $3 tickets, you were not under the grandstand. That was the second show at 9:30 p.m. The first show was at the Coliseum at 5 p.m. And there's an unpublished photo of the Beatles in the Indiana State Fair Coliseum. Pretty cool. You can see the drums for Bill Black combo over here. You can see guys with 16 millimeter cameras taking films of the Beatles. It was just chaos. And all the fans all the way around on the back. Then there's two small photos. The colors kind of faded away, but the Beatles there on stage at the Indiana State Fair. And there's the original program, folded out. So the Beatles are sold out. The Beatles are sold out, and the 5 o'clock show was sold out. And then Andy Williams and the Osmond brothers played 2 days after. When I was 10 years old, my parents took me to see the Andy Williams show. So I was at the Indiana State Fair 2 days after the Beatles were there. My dad said that they were scalping $5 Beatle tickets for $100 at the Indiana State Fair.
Nicole said, is the mono top loaders more desirable than the stereo?
Yes, the mono is the one I sold for $2,500.
Daniel Castillo said, yes, mono was being phased out and in 68 less pressings were made.
Yes.
Greg Field said, if you want that Indiana State Fair Beatles concert on CD, let me know. Frank, nice scrapbook.
All right, thanks.
Ahmed said, where can someone order items from you?
I put it on now.
I put them on my, get the other one first. I sell them off my YouTube channel for a few days before they go on my eBay store. You can get a hold of me at Mr_Stickermania at yahoo.com. And then after a couple days, if I haven't had anybody get a hold of me, I put it on my Stickermania 2853 eBay store. I have a score of almost 14,000 on eBay.
Nicole said, I have two stereo top loaders.
Butcher cover moment.
Can I read the rest?
I got 2 more comments.
Go ahead.
Daniel Casilio said Greg Field should be your next guest.
Gregory Field, if you want to be on one of our guests in a week and a half on our Every Little Thing Beatles, let me know.
Danny Goldstein said, I had no idea that the Olsen brothers, Osmond brothers were around in 1964.
Yeah, the older brothers, Donnie was only like 6 or 7 years old, and he came out and did a duet with, he was a star. They brought him out even at that young age, might have been 8, and he came out and did a duet with Andy Williams. I guess if if I'm 71 and Donnie was 7 or 8 at that time, he would be about 2 or 3 years younger than me. He'd be about 68 years old now. Butcher covers. I got to get a hold of some more butcher covers. I had 9 at one time. I'm down to only a couple left. This real nice stereo one, West Coast. Sold last week. I go out Tuesday because the mill, they were closed on Monday for, would it be President's Day? So I sold this one for $3,000. A near mint West Coast with no touch-ups at all. And the removed trunk slick. And this one just sold today on eBay. The one of the East Coast that I peeled. It has a few touch-ups there on the edges, sold for $2,000. Then I'm gonna making a deal on the one that I practice on for $500 out at the South Louisville Antique Toy Mall. They'd offered me $500 for this one that I practice on tomorrow. That's my butcher cover moment. We are up to 2,270 subscribers. We're 230 away from giving away a butcher cover.
Greg Field said, my friend Third State Stereo with Perry Cox COA auction in soon.
Gregory Field, check out his eBay store. I think it's called, I'm not going to come up with the right name there, Gregory Field. You'll have to let us know in the messages what the name of your eBay store is.
Daniel Castillo said Thunderstorm White Lightning.
Yep.
And then
So we'll give away one of these butcher covers with 3 different difficult questions as soon as I get to 2,500 subscribers.
Larry Gonzalez said those look awesome.
And then
Greg Field put his name. It's oh no thigh
Let me look at it.
dime legend. I don't know.
Where's it at? Oh, Nova Thingamagig. Oh, a no thingamagig.
Name Odie to George.
My eBay ode to George Harrison. All right.
Oh no, not him again. What the heck?
Butcher covers. Butcher covers, like I said, have never gone down in value. Butcher covers will sell as long as I'm alive and a lot longer after that. What else do we have to show? Some things I got coming in.
Oh shit.
Purchase history. I got some I magazines coming in, 7 from 1968 to 1969 in perfect condition that have the original posters inside. I got that today online. I got a 1963 Beatles fan club Christmas record. That's the one that they only made a couple thousand. And it has the original mailing envelope. It's one of the best condition in the world. I got that coming next week. I talked about the Beatles 2014 in mono box set. On the Beatles Canada, they came out on Capitol labels first in Canada. I got all first 9, everywhere from Love Me Do up to, I got Love Me Do, Please Please Me, From Me to You, Twist and Shout, Do You Want to Know a Secret, She Loves You, Salute Deets, All Me Lovin', and Roll Over Beethoven. I got all 9 of them coming in excellent condition. I made a deal next week. Somebody had the whole collection of all the 63 pressings from Canada on the when the Canada believed in the Beatles before America did. So I'll have that next week. That'll be pretty cool. I talked about the lunchbox. I got a Meet the Beatles, a mono pressing with no publishing credits coming. The hardest one to get a Meet the Beatles. And the Mazzy did a video on the Beatles White Album, the Rutherford Chang special limited edition White Album. He's the guy. He passed away a couple weeks ago, 45 years old, and he would have these exhibitions where he would buy white albums, numbered Beatles white albums, and he had a whole little, like a little record store where they were all in numerical, how do you say that?
Numerical
order. But
Kid, come here.
He passed away, and I have one of the last sealed ones available on the internet from Rutherford Chang. I got that coming next week.
Come here.
We got to
about
talk about
the stream. You
we
need
gotta
to get
talk
in there.
about-
Gregory Field just asked where you was, so you need to come in there.
All right, Sticker Kid's gonna make a moment. You want to sit down?
No.
Well,
Yeah,
come over
get
here.
in, sit down,
Come
say
over here and
something.
smile.
Do something. Be part of the group.
How you doing, Sticker Kid? Wake up for 10 minutes. Sit down and
Greg
smile.
Field says, woo!
Give him a woo woo. Can you give him a woo woo? Talked about most of the
They
things.
want a joke from you. They're not going to say it on you.
No joke. Led Zeppelin Rubber Soul. I got a 1981 mono. It has -6, -5. So it's got a -6 Harry T. Moss on side 1 and a -5 Hazel Yardwood on side 2.
Daniel said, put the Beatles costume on for old time's sake.
Yeah, the Sticker Kid's a little bit too big for that now. Got a Rolling Stones promo of Hot Rocks in today. Near mint condition, but it's not the first pressing with the outtakes, but it has the original insert. And it's got the promo sticker on the cover with a drill hole. But I looked at the dead wax on side 4, and it has a 12-17-71 instead of the 11-18-71 that you want to get that has the outtakes on it.
Greg Field said, "Kid, you don't need the Beatle wig. Your hair's perfect right now. You got the Beatle cap."
I took him to the barbershop today. Led Zeppelin.
Gordon T said, "Saw on eBay a dealer is selling 23 Beatles 78 RPM records made in India for $80,000."
$80,000. Andrew from Polygram Auctions did a video on those India 78s last week, and he played one of them. Didn't get to show this in the Mikey Arugula thing the other day. This is a Fillmore East from 1969. This is the program guide you would have got to if you want to see all these shows, and Led Zeppelin is on one of these nights. That's a revised schedule there. That must not be the one I'm looking for. But this is when Taj Mahal was the lead group, and Led Zeppelin played before. Oh, it was Country Joe and the Fish. Can you imagine seeing another group open for Led Zeppelin?
Greg Field said, "Kid has the long hair, looking good."
There's 2 original tickets to see Led Zeppelin on May 30th. One of them is for the 8 o'clock show, and one of them's for the 11:30 p.m. show. 2 original tickets from 1969 to see Led Zeppelin.
Everyone like, subscribe, and hit the notification link for a giveaway and more good live streams.
So did you guys go see Becoming Led Zeppelin? Because it probably isn't showing at IMAX anymore. Mazzy went and saw it. I saw it the first day with
My brother.
With your brother.
I was at work.
And it was amazing, I thought.
Thomas Crook said, "I was at Rutherford Chang's exhibit in Louisville."
All right. I once I heard he passed away, then the demand for those white albums that he special limited edition, I got a hold of one of the last ones on the internet.
Danny Goldstein.
It cost me about $300.
Danny Goldstein said that dealer for the 780s.
78.
78.
78 RPM. It's a.
In India is nuts. Most of the ones he has are in terrible shape.
I can't believe that those things are that valuable.
Greg Field said, "I'll sell 17 mint 45s from 1976 for $100. Shameless plug."
All right.
Daniel Castillo said, "Those India records are sought out much unless you're a completist."
A completist.
Greg Field said, "Don't cut your hair, sticker kid ever."
We cut it today. His bangs were down to here and his ears were covered up. Weren't you in the barbershop in the chair for about a half hour today?
I told him to not take him to the barbershop.
No. Well, you had to get your hair cut.
Danny Goldstein said, "I saw it." Daniel Castillo, "I have a mint, love me do 78 from India."
All right.
Yeah, I think that was saying. I think he was saying that to him.
Oh, here's a few more things I'll show here before we end this. What did you think of the post Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit show last night? I thought it was really good. Post Malone did a good job singing for Kurt Cobain.
Loved it.
Did you see it?
Yep.
You did not see
Yes,
it.
I did. I saw it on YouTube.
You saw the Nirvana?
Yes.
They were kicking, weren't they?
Yes.
Greg Field said, "Just say no, Sticker Kid." Danny Goldstein, "Sticker Kid looks like McCartney from 1962.
Uh-oh.
Daniel Goldstein, or Daniel Castillo said, "Hold on to it, Danny," talking when they were talking about that. I misread it too, but
Sheet music for Stairway to Heaven.
I don't need help.
Hopefully there'll be another Led Zeppelin documentary. It'll take you from Led Zeppelin 3 up to Stairway to Heaven. They said they interviewed Jimmy Page for 7 hours for the first documentary. So I'm pretty sure that they got another one they're already putting together for the second part.
saying you need OJ. You gotta come.
We got a cold turkey sleeve that's up on my eBay store. That's a weird picture sleeve from John Lennon, cold turkey. And if you look at the credits on the record, it actually has Lennon McCartney on cold turkey. So he must have still been under a contract where he had to say Lennon McCartney even when he had a solo track. Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane. Haven't sold that yet. In my opinion, the greatest double-sided single of all time in rock and roll history. Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane.
Hey, Daniel.
Daniel Castillo said, hope Sandler convinced Paul to be in Happy Gilmore too.
They're all together. Paul's going to be performing tomorrow night at Studio 8H and for the Saturday Night Live special. I just don't know how they're going to get all the celebrities. That place only seats about 400. It's going to be a packed place with celebrities tomorrow night there at Studio 8H in Rockefeller Plaza. Got the rare picture sleeve for I'll Cry Instead, and I'm Happy to Dance with You. That's up in my Stickermania 2853 store. And close it out here with Led Zeppelin. You want to hear Led Zeppelin like the documentary, you got to get these UK or First USA pressing of Led Zeppelin, the first album. I'm starting to play this more than any Led Zeppelin album now, thanks to Pink doing Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You on the Fire Age show. Well, if you see this documentary, you realize how many good tracks are on this first Led Zeppelin album. You got the, starting off with Good Times, Bad Times. And Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. You Shook Me Dazed and Confused. Your Time Is Gonna Come. Black Mountain Side. Communication Breakdown. I Can't Quit You, Baby. And How Many More Times. That album just was like the Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand, like From Another Planet. This album was like From Another Planet also in 1969. That's a Led Zeppelin turquoise that I'm going to keep for myself. They're just too hard to come by anymore. And then Led Zeppelin 4 in the shrink with the hype sticker for Stairway to Heaven. And the title back's on the back. But the most important thing, it's got Porky and Pecco Duck in the dead wax. With not much dead wax at all, that means there's a lot of bass grooves from Mr. John Paul Jones. I also have a Led Zeppelin 4 with the red plum label from England.
Oh, my neck.
And this has got Pecco Porky. Porky Pecco Duck also in the dead wax. So it's a little different on Beatles albums, on Led Zeppelin rather than UK. Then Beatles, you want to get the UK pressings. On Led Zeppelin, that rule doesn't really follow through because they were pushing United States more than the United Kingdom. So they were doing a lot of the recording in the United States. All right, where are we at on time?
It is 11:32 p.m.
We made it an hour. There's not a Saturday Night Live tonight because of the special tomorrow night, the 3-hour special. They're even going to have a red carpet special on Peacock tomorrow. I should check that out. Tonight they're playing the very first episode from 1975 of Saturday Night Live with Billy Preston, the late Billy Preston, and Janice Ian as the musical guests. And I don't know if there's a host on there or not. I don't know if it's George Carlin or not. And what do you say, Sticker Kid? You gonna tell everybody have a good day? Have a good weekend? No?
Bye.
Do you like your haircut? You gonna tell everybody bye?
Bye.
Good job, Sticker Kid. Goodbye. Sticker granddaughter Rose is saying goodbye. Say shout out to Uncle Paul from Uncle Paul's Pop Beatles Playhouse for helping us out, and Mikey Arugula, and everybody that's joined on the chat tonight. Thanks a lot, and we'll be back Wednesday with a more barn burner new arrivals of vintage music memorabilia from the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Led Zeppelin. See you later.